Well, pick up, and welcome. A little bit late start because I am doing some work in the studio here, so had to take care of some business. But all the same, I'm here, ready for another episode, ready for some talk, ready for some conversation. Pick up to Beans on Toast, Edward. Big up to James. Big up to James. And also big up to Red Archer supporter, of course, and Hylor, all the chaps in the chat. Pick up to each and every one of you, lads and ladies. Big up, big up. A lot to talk about today. A lot to talk about. Make sure I get my headphones on. Say Iriola talk. Yes, there is bonkers. There's lots of Iriola talk as well. Is he going to be the next? Is he going to be the next move for us? That's a real solid question, I would say. I just don't know if there's really not many names out there that really make me say, "Oh, this is the guy. This is the guy that we have to go for." So, yeah, it is what it is. But we do have Biggie Smalls in the house, so
Baby.
there you go. There
Happy
you
birthday,
go.
Biggie Smalls. You know what I'm saying, bro? I have to have him, man.
There you go.
Yeah, man. There was on YouTube. There was a channel that was playing Biggie all day live. Had that on the background and stuff, man. Cool. But happy birthday to Biggie Smalls, man.
Yeah, big up, big up. Yeah, it's a little bit of occasions of what we're gonna really get into, because I mean, there's a lot that we can definitely get into. I know that the description on there was all about, basically so many voices are starting to speak up in this locker room, and it's something new. I mean, let me say firstly, definitely welcome back to everybody that's joining us. Welcome back to the panel. JK in the house, big up, big up. And tonight we have we've got to have a real conversation about the football club and what has become over. What's crazy about it is that it took 10 years basically, or I say closer to 5, but it took 5 to 10 years, let's say, to build up what we know as being the modern day Liverpool Football Club. And it's taken all but a year to basically erode all of that foundation, it seems like. And it's weird because it's not about just another defeat. It's not about Villa putting 4 past Liverpool. It's not about tactical systems or substitutions or transfer rumors really anymore that I want to get at least the start of the conversation rolling with. It's more so how deep this conversation is going, how deep of a dive it's going into when it comes to the conversations you're hearing from pundits, former players, coaches, or former coaches, fan bases, players in the locker room, current players. It feels like a club publicly wrestling with its own identity, And you've got Dominik Szoboszlai over here liking comments saying he's fired. He's fired up and that he's tired of carrying. Let me repeat this. He's tired of carrying Liverpool. There's comments like you've got Mohamed Salah practically issuing a manifesto that I believe some of us believe in. And Liverpool, speaking about how Liverpool has lost its way and how it's losing its heavy metal football mentality. You've got Steven Gerrard saying we have watched what he's watched has hurt him. He's talking about you've got supporters split down the middle. I'd say more like 70-30, but still all the same. Split down the middle between defending players or blaming Arne Slot or blaming recruitment or blaming ownership or blaming mentality or blaming just about everything. So it's honestly something weird going on, because when this happens, when standards start to collapse and you start to find yourselves in all this chaos and ruins, it could be a struggle. and Liverpool supporters can handle losing football matches. It's not something we want to see or do, but it is something that we are adult enough to be able to get through. But Liverpool supporters cannot handle watching our beloved Liverpool become unrecognizable. And that's the difference. It's now, it had been a place where we were very solely and surely being able to cope with, okay, let's have this transformation from, one coach to another. But it wasn't like we were willing to give up our standards. We weren't willing to give up our the things that we believed made this team work: the intensity, the emotion, the aggression, the mentality, the fearlessness on the pitch. Now, some weeks Liverpool look like they want to control the game. Some weeks they look like they are terrified of transition. Sometimes we look like we are physically exhausted. In some games, we look emotionally disconnected from everything around us. And when your biggest players begin publicly hinting at the disconnect, that's when alarm bells or red flags should be starting to be raised. And tonight we're going to dive deep into the conversation, like I said, about Dom, about Mo, about the dressing room atmosphere, about the pressure on Slot, about transfer rumors, and what this upcoming summer may generally decide. I mean, this is going to be I believe, the first real step towards the next decade of Liverpool football. And that's why we're going to get into this. That's why we have you in chat, and that's why we have JK on the panel, so we can really have a back and forth, a real conversation, not just hearing someone just say the things you want to hear, but saying the things that you need to hear. I think is more important. So
yeah. First of all, I'd like to big up the chat, bro. Beans on the toast, red armchair, bro. Helio, Trudon. Yep, Biggie Smalls is the list. It's true what you're saying. Football is like a magnet. When the team's doing well, no matter how busy you are, it pulls you in. You're trying to get out. It's like that opportunity thing. It's like that, actually. When you're winning, it pulls you straight back in and stuff. And when you're losing, and it's probably just a natural way of life, human nature, where when you're losing and stuff, your energy isn't going towards the team. It's just weird. And I believe that's all down to the manager. He's the guy who's the conductor. He's the Beethoven of the situation. I can't rap, by the way. I can produce hip hop beats, but I can't.
There you go.
Christmas present, yeah. That's about it.
Let's
I looked at the rapping contest on here. It'd be so funny. Man, just come on here and freestyle, like Liverpool freestyle. That'd be cool. No one's done that yet. Let's get that going, man. We get copyrighted for the beats, though.
Yeah, exactly. You might find something.
Unless we use our own, because you know what I mean. We've got plenty of them.
Yes. Let's see. No, there's been a lot that's been discussed. Let's get right into it then. Let's begin with Dominik Szoboszlai's comments. I think those were some of the biggest, because I think what I was going to say is, Dominik Szoboszlai is definitely taken on a more heightened role as a leader on this team, and he's definitely taken on a role that some are actually, thinking that he should become the actual captain, or that they should take away the captain's band from Virgil and give it to Dom. I think that's silly talk, but all the same, Virgil can wear the captain's bands until he decides to give up the captain's band, in my opinion.
That sort of talk is, for me, disrespectful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that who's saying that, bro? Is it Liverpool fans or what? Because for me, I have no problem with the captaincy. We've got bigger problems than that. At the end of the day, it's a team game. If Szoboszlai wants to be captain one day, he showed the effort this season to be that. But I think the midfield has probably been our downfall this season. We've been crap.
I think if I speak, there will be fire. So how about I not try to say who has suggested that those statements? But it's been people in our fan base definitely that have said that, and it's a case where look, the entire situation, I think, perfectly sums up where Liverpool currently are with our fan base. Because one moment, Dominik Szoboszlai is being praised as one of the few players showing energy or leadership and personality on this team. And then the next minute, you hear he's being absolutely buried online because of one mistake or a, I don't know, some type of promotional post that he put out there or something. Oh, lost JK. Let me make sure. Okay. We'll get JK back shortly, I'm sure. But let's be fair here. The timing of the post isn't exactly the best thing. And some could say it's pretty bad to hear it, but Liverpool have just been embarrassed by Villa. The season's collapsing. The atmosphere around the club could be deemed as being toxic. In less than 24 hours, fans are seeing smiling pictures and burgers and sponsorship content and captions that feel completely disconnected from the mood supporters are in. That's football in 2026. That'll be football in 2027 and 28. Look, perception matters. I get that. But what's fascinating is what happened afterward. Dom starts liking comments defending him. And that, what I mean by that, comment saying he's carrying Liverpool, he's exhausted from carrying the team, one mistake all season, and people turn on him. Let's let the man eat his Big Mac in peace. Okay. Obviously, this is connected to him doing commercials now for let me do something else too. Him doing commercials for McDonald's, I guess, or something along those lines, right? And what's unique about it is, he's liking he's obviously active on social media. Now, where people like, whether people like this or not, there's definitely a statement in sometimes the way that these guys respond and react to your comments. We often think that our comments go unheard or unseen. And I disagree with that completely. Most people that I've dealt with, whether it's been my own players that I've represented or even, players that I know personally, they hear what is being said. I remember how often people would talk about Darwin Nunez should keep his head out of social media. He should stay away from it. And I can agree with the fact that it's not always a comforting place to be. However, they are human beings just like each and every one of us. And this is the world we live in. When we're on YouTube, for instance, a social media hub right now, speaking and being able to communicate with each other, and it's because of this forum that we can have a voice. And sometimes that voice can get toxic or it can get ugly. I get that. Some of the things that are said are very, very, disconcerting. But I think this reveals something very important. These players know there's frustration inside the dressing room because liking comments in modern day football, despite what anyone wants to say, don't look too much into it. Oh, it's only a like, blah, blah, blah. You know what that means. It's football's versions of subtweeting or players knowing exactly what they're doing by hitting that like button, that's you giving them the thumbs up and saying, I'm behind your statement. And the uncomfortable reality of it is that Dominik Szoboszlai has been one of Liverpool's best players this season, if not the best player. He has 13 goals, 12 assists. He's all energy, relentless running, pressing, ball progression, creativity, work rate, availability. Like a lot of this squad, he's looked emotionally invested almost every time we go out on the pitch. That's why fans defend him so aggressively. That's why some of us are quick to point out those that, didn't or were very, very, very harsh with some of the things they had to say about him. And when players begin publicly validating the idea that they are carrying the team, you start entering dangerous territory. Because I love Dominik Szoboszlai as a player, but those comments are that's a little egotistical. Now, the dressing room fractures into narratives. I get that this guy isn't working hard enough, or this manager doesn't know what he's doing, or these tactics don't suit us, or these players aren't matching my standards. Once those thoughts escape private confines and start being leaked publicly on social media, you will have issues and tensions that are going to become real. I'm going to ask JK, do you think fans are overreacting to Dominik's post and social media activity lately, or do you think that Liverpool players need to understand optics better during times like this?
Look, bro, I think when you look at social media, what is it really? It's just an avenue for people to get persecuted, like names being called and this and that. Back in the days, if you had a problem with any player, he ain't going to find out, you know what I mean? Unless you shout it from the stands like for 90-odd minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're a professional footballer, bro, I've always said this, that the manager should be looking after the players like they're his kids. So he should be saying to them, listen, less of the social fucking media, less of the always on the phone, get back to the roots. And if I was the Liverpool manager, straight away, I'm cutting down on all that. I don't care. Because for me, I don't want videos in the training where we're all training and everyone seems to be happy. Then the game comes on Saturday and no one does jack shit. I'm sick of that as well. So I think the social media side of football, bro, it's too cringe, man. It's gone really cringe. Mm-hmm. And the way Szoboszlai, whatever his own ambitions were, when you look at Szoboszlai as a lad, who's his idol? Who's his guy? Ronaldo. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And where did Ronaldo play his best football? At Real Madrid. So Szoboszlai is thinking, I want to live that lifestyle, Mm-hmm. That's my opinion. I like Szoboszlai as a player. I think he's really stepped on it. In the game against Villa, he was the only guy trying, bro. And mm-hmm. I've seen him running up and down like a madman. And fair play to him, he did it,
Mm-hmm.
But ambition for me is better when you don't talk about it, just get it done. I think Red Armchair said it earlier on. I prefer the players do the talking on the pitch. Spot on there, Red Armchairs. Exactly that. I'm like that as well. I don't want to hear nothing from no one when it regards the players. Yeah, tell me what's your favourite food. Tell me your favourite Biggie Smalls song. Stuff like that. That's what fans want to hear. We don't want to hear about your personal ambition. That's for you to sort out. It's got nothing to do with us, guys. We don't want to hear about it. Just get it done. So if you become captain and you go and smash it and score 30 goals in a season as a midfielder, your ambition was to do that, fucking great, you smashed it. But when you put ambition out to the public, what they do, they can hang you with that. Oh, you said you're going to do this. We're still waiting for that. And what happens? They're going to write about it every day to him. It's a bad cycle, bro. Protect yourself. Protect your own neck. Don't allow opportunities for other people to fuck with you. It's a rule of life, bro. You can go into football shows and start calling everyone an idiot and everything like that. You're going to get bare beef on shows. You have loads of guys after your ass,
Mm-hmm.
And that's how social media and football is, bro. I'm not a big fan of it. And I feel Szoboszlai probably feels frustrated because the amount of energy he's put into this season, he's the only one who seems to be trying, bro. That's embarrassing.
Well, I mean, like, you remember what was your take on his reaction after the Manchester City game, for instance?
When he turned to the fans?
Mm-hmm.
Was it that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was sort of misunderstood. He was probably just thinking, give us some support. It ain't great at the moment. We need your support. I think he was meaning it like that. That's my opinion, I think. I just felt he weren't being cocky there. No.
Mm-hmm.
I had no problem with that one. But that's what football's like now, bro. Any little incident now, bang. It's on Twitter, it's on YouTube, everyone's talking about it, and it blows up. Crying over spilled milk, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that Detroit song, I ain't got time for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love to have that as a sample just to play it every time on a show.
Right.
Just press the button and that comes. I ain't got time for that.
Yeah. That is a funny one. Let me see. Yeah.
It's 3 weeks today. The World Cup starts. Mad.
Ain't nobody got time
3 weeks
for
today, and Kirkes and Szoboszlai, they're going to be there, and them two are the ones who put a shift in this season, so they'll have enough time to maybe go to America, watch a few games or whatever. But they'll be chilling. But it's mad. 3 weeks today, the World Cup starts, bro. So it's coming quick.
It is. It's going to be here very quickly, and it's going to be a case where a lot of us are going to recognize who's there and who's not. And I would also even go as far as to say that, like, when it comes to our team, with Dominik especially, he could utilize this as an opportunity not only to get his health and his stamina and all those attributes back that he needs, but it could also be a case where he gets the ability to work on his game, get in the film room, bring in some of the fringe players with him so that they can get on the same page when they get the opportunities to be on the pitch together, so there's no decline in the standards or levels of the players on the pitch. It's important, I think, but yet, it's a matter of, are we going to see that kind of commitment being made?
Yeah, but I think the brother needs a rest when this season finishes. Yeah. But just looking at Szoboszlai, bro, remember last season at the end, me and you, we were having a show, and then I was like, yo, I'm not happy with this Szoboszlai lad. and Slot in the way we finished the season and stuff. And Szoboszlai came back stronger, and he smashed it for me. He's had a great season. We haven't won nothing, and that's a bit of a pity. But they all want to be winners. It's like we live in a world now where these players can't even tell the truth now. Like, look, Salah trying to tell the truth. Look what happened to him, bro. He got jumped on. He's trying to tell you fans what the score is. We feel your pain here. I've only seen one or two Liverpool fans during the time we've not been great who say, I want to keep Slot.
Yeah.
One or two, bro. And I understand. I think Nigel said it the other day in the chat. Look, at the end of the day, if Arne Slot's a manager next season, we have to support him. We've got no choice. That's why I don't want to blaspheme him and break him down at the end of the day. Football, things happen quickly sometimes, Liverpool do it different to other clubs, but Chelsea have had 3 managers this season, or 4, God knows. You know what I mean? That's how football is. So I just don't understand how we gave Slot the FA Cup game against City and the Champions League games against Paris, how we still had him as manager. I knew we were going to lose before we even played them games, and that's when you know he ain't the right manager. Because when you support Liverpool, you're going to expect to win every game. It's in your blood, it's in your DNA. As soon as them little queries come in, then you know something's not right.
Yeah, very true. Very, very true. Very, very true. Make sure I keep up with the guys in the chat and make sure I keep their conversation a part of our conversation. Yeah, it does make a difference though when, some of the conversations start to get a little bit loud or too rambunctious, I guess you could say. But it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, let me get back into our conversation though. Modern football today, I guess, is what I was going to get into, is becoming a very difficult landscape to navigate. Fans want authenticity, be authentic they want it from players to be authentic. And then, when that authentic nature clashes with emotion after a defeat, all of a sudden they don't want people to talk. They don't want people to say anything. We all want to be closer. We all want to be understanding how we can, the insides and outs of what these players are thinking and what they're saying, expressing. And yet once they do, so often you hear people saying, shh, don't talk, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, basically. And right here, he's been asked to press endlessly. He's been asked to create. He's been asked to progress the ball, cover transitions, link midfields, protect us defensively, provide intensely. Meanwhile, we still look disjointed, and he's still going to get criticism. No matter what he says or what he does, it's sometimes not enough. So it's very interesting how an Instagram like or a Twitter like can carry so much weight in today's world. But I'll say this though, because Salah's statement and dressing room fallout has obviously been the talk of a lot of conversations. And when this did happen, a lot of us thought this was Mohamed Salah speaking for us. There's not being subtle about it. He was actually speaking the soft part out loud, and the quiet conversation out loud. And I think a lot of us do miss heavy metal football. We do miss teams fearing Liverpool. We do miss the standards that we had set and are slipping in front of us. We miss that winning random matches not being, winning random matches is not enough, basically, is what I'm trying to say. It's not just criticism. There's a direct philosophical challenge in all of this. And when you come into this conversation with some of like what Steven Gerrard has said, it becomes even bigger because Stevie immediately recognized what Salah was doing. He said, the identity's gone. He says that's massive. He said that isn't just fans saying it anymore. It isn't just YouTubers like myself and JK and Monte, Lee, and you out there. This isn't just some rival banter. Liverpool legends and senior players are publicly acknowledging that the same thing supporters have been saying for months. So was Salah's statement leadership? Or was it publicly undermining our coach? I asked that for JK. Was Salah's statement leadership, or was it a public undermining of our coach, Arne Slot?
It was a bit of both, and the beauty of his comments is all indirectly saying what we're thinking, if you know what I mean. So we weren't directly saying Slot's football's not good as Jurgen's. He just said, I miss the Jurgen's way of football. So that tells you everything you need to know. You know what I mean? Come on. I don't find nothing wrong with it. He's leaving. He's got his last game on Sunday. And with the way this season's gone, I think if we finished champions... Now, imagine we win the Champions League and we've got a final coming up. I don't think Salah would have said anything, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think this Salah comments thing is like, can't footballers even say what they feel nowadays? Come on.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, we just said that we want, that's what we want, and yet we get what we want, and then people still complain about it. What's the chat saying? Petty squabbling is what Red Arm Chess Supporter is saying. What about hip-hop football? I would love to have hip-hop football. That would be great. That'd be great. I don't know. Maybe some would, maybe some wouldn't. I think hip-hop football is like, unfortunately, probably like players like Ronaldinho and Neymar and stuff like that. Hyler says, I think Salah spoke the truth, fair and square. The controversy is just that he said it out loud. He bets most of the old players could say the same, but they weren't in a position to do so. I think that is spot on, to be honest with you, from Hyler. It's a very good analysis of it. Yeah, I think that's very good. So. Let me see what else you guys are saying as well. Is that all you're saying? All right, well, I'll get back into the conversation with JK and ask him this, because I think this is where the football world splits. And what I mean by that is Salah speaking the truth. Others will see a dressing room being fractured publicly. Some say it as being disloyal, or some are saying it's being it's back out again. Okay. But it is what it is. This is why the final Brentford game feels bigger than just a season finale, because Liverpool don't just need points anymore. We're safe. We're going to most likely, if anything, unless there's some ridiculously catastrophic circumstances, we're most likely going to get Champions League football. We're going to end up in 5th place. We need emotional clarity, obviously, because we don't need the points anymore. We need some emotional clarity, I think, is what we're going to be looking for in this game. And we're going to see what this football club is. Can they be humble? Can they be show some humility? It's weird, because is it still Klopp's emotional heavy metal football trying to survive under a new tactical framework? Is it players thinking that this cycle of football is just not for them? Is it transitioning into something slower, colder, and more controlled under Slot that they're just uncomfortable about or just not good at? It looks trapped between both worlds, and trapped meaning a team that's showing a little bit of a collapse, unfortunately. And that's why some of these topics that I have set up for this next segment are interesting, because is it that we find our way out of this by doing more jettisons of players? More, obviously, we have legends, leaders in our locker room leaving. Like every season and every team, you're always going to have players moving on. You're always going to have leaders or players that have to step into the void and become that new voice. It's going to be interesting how we navigate it together, I think. But I said I have some interesting topics to talk about, and I do, because we've talked about the dressing room atmosphere. We've talked about Salah. We've talked about Dom. Now let's move into the next phase of this conversation, which is what happens next. What happens next? Because whether supporters want to hear this or not, Liverpool are heading into one of the most important summers this football club has had since Klopp rebuilt the side in 2020. This is no longer about adding one or two pieces. I was watching Coppish yesterday. Shout out to the boys from Coppish. And they did a show where they went through the entire roster, because they were bringing up some players that, most of us haven't heard of unless you watch the youth academy play. And they went through the entire roster. And on that episode, they had, I think, I want to make sure, I always like to be exact. So I know they had over 10 players. I want to say it was 13, but they had like 10 players that they were going to move on from. And they mean dropped or moved on or sold. And I'm thinking to myself, we just had a massive influx of players out and bringing new players into the squad. I'd say probably about close to 1/3 of the team replaced, if not a little bit more. And here we are talking about replacing another third of the team. And that third being including players like Salah, players like Robbo, players like possibly Ali. And that's why it's weird, because this is about direction, about recruitment, about leadership, about style of play, and deciding whether Liverpool football are going to be heavy metal or if we're going to be what I call Dutch soft rock. Dutch elevator music is what it's more like. So tonight we've got a mountain of stories to get through, so I'm going to get through them as best I can. Hopefully JK's internet is stable.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, so let's get into the first story, because this is the biggest story, I think, probably. Despite social media rumors exploding all day, blah, 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 Liverpool's stance on Arne Slot reportedly remains unchanged.
Yeah.
James Pearce from the Athletic, says the club is still backing the Dutch manager despite growing frustration from supporters and mounting pressure from Salah's comments. Personally, I think this was always going to happen publicly, and I also think that this was I was getting pressed on the fan zone by Dean and by Reese to give them an answer and to kind of give them an answer saying, oh, Arne Slot's not going to be here next season and we're going to have a fresh start. That's not the case. I don't believe that. I think we're going to have Arne Slot at the helm. I'm doing my own little Salah and getting it out now because I don't want to go through a whole season of complaining about this coach next season. I don't want to go through a whole summer because it's going to be a dark summer. I don't want to go through a whole summer where we got to listen to Arsenal rivals and the likes talk about Klopp to Arteta comparisons and have to deal with this as well. Okay? Deal with the fact that we are uncomfortable with our own coach. Liverpool are not Chelsea. They're not a club that publicly panics after one bad season. I get that. They generally commit to long-term structure and stability, and that has always been the case where we've been able to rally and walk with our problems and figure them out together. But here's the issue. Public backing and real backing are not always the same thing. The reality is this: if next season starts badly, all the pressure immediately returns. And unlike earlier this season, Slot no longer has goodwill protecting him. The emotional shield of "you won the league" is gone. Supporters are now questioning the football, the atmosphere, the physical levels, the the recruitment, and whether the manager always understands what Liverpool supporters emotionally expect from this club. JK, do you still believe Liverpool should fully back Arne Slot for another rebuild? Or has enough happened this season to justify questioning his long-term future?
Too many things happened. I can't really explain. Like, football, the energy towards the manager is not great. And it surprises me people like Carragher and all that are just jumping to his defence of him, indirectly. And I think the Salah news took a lot of heat off Slot, even though Salah's words are indirectly pointing at him, if you understand my point. And that's the madness. If the manager's gameplay was shining in games and we just got wrong referee decision, we lost that game, whatever, we got a red card and it shouldn't have been, things that happen in football, you say, you know what, keep the manager. But this manager has shown nothing. I think his I wouldn't say stubbornness, I would say him in just acting big-headed, like, you know what, I'm the Premier League champion manager here, first season and all that. He's thinking he can walk on water, and instead of concentrating on what pays the bills, he's more bothered about the looking good in Ibiza and stuff like that. Fair enough, have a break, I don't give a damn. Do what you got to do. The main thing is, you got to do what you're getting paid for, right? And I don't understand his mindset, Look, could Helio go in tomorrow and take the job? Could Red Armchair? Could I? No, I'm serious question here, because when I'm looking at Arne Slot, I'm thinking I could do a bloody better job than this. Okay, from top to bottom, I'd make sure the youth system's much better. Young players given a chance, even though they might not make it. But how are you going to know if you don't try it out? And getting into the mindset of these players. They've turned from champions to wimps in 9 months. From doubters to believers, then from believers back to doubters. So it's done the full circle now, okay? And that's a big FU to all the people who are after Slot. We don't want him here no more, this, that, and the other. Oh, you miss him now, don't you? But I just, you know what, the real pitiful thing is that when you see something that's successful, it could be anything, you look at it and think, okay, what did they do right to make it that? You look at the good points of it, then the negative sides of it. And then if you had any brains, you'd for me, Bob Paisley and Shankly is the prime example of how it should have been done. Okay? If Arne Slot had any people around him who supported him and said, hey, listen, Arnie, Shankly came in, Jurgen Klopp, and then Bob Paisley came in, and he did it like this. It's like Arne Slot didn't even do no homework, bro. I said this on the other day. He did no homework on the way of Liverpool Football Club. And just because of that, he didn't deserve that Liverpool job. I deserve it more than him. Trust me, bro. I deserve that Liverpool job more than Arne Slot does.
Right at the moment, yes. I can understand you saying that. Even
last season, bro, let's not kid ourselves here. You knew last season I was a bit pissed off about, I'm a very discreet Liverpool fan. I don't need to cry like a lot of YouTubers do, crying over a throw-in in the corner and that. No. It takes a lot for me to get wound up on that concerning Liverpool. Arne Slot's way of football, it has no soul. It has nothing. You know what I mean? It's got no oomph. It's got no... Look at Florian Wirtz, bro. As soon as Florian Wirtz was signed, I was like, yo, happy days here. We got a guy now who can just control a football match on his own, and he's small. What this guy do it? And he's done it a few occasions this season. He's looked the best player on the pitch on that. But in the last 2 months, bro, he's done nothing. But you can see from his face he's disappointed. If Jurgen Klopp was the manager, would you see faces like that? No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. So we can sit here all day, bro, and pick out all the bad points about Arne Slot. For me, the results, that's all you need to look at. Forget anything else, you know. We've got a list of them. The way he treated Chiesa after Chiesa was building his fitness up, building his gameplay up, and he was back to burst, smash it. What happened? Didn't play him for another 2 months. That shows you the manager he is.
Right.
There you go. I can give you a number of occasions where this manager hasn't used his brain. Because when you look at Chiesa's journey, bro, he kept on getting 2 minutes here, 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, started the FA Cup game, this, that, and the other. And every time he kept on coming on, he was doing good. Come on, scored a goal, took a few.
Yep. Oh. You're muted, but okay. Maybe something just happened. Just to, I guess, to pick up from where he was talking about it. There's been I think this is why the summer. Oh, you're back?
Yeah.
You want to finish what you were saying?
Yeah, I just finished off what I was saying. So, and that's what it all boils down to, bro, is the soul of the club, the players, the stamina, the body language. As I was saying before, Szoboszlai was the only guy against Villa who deserved his wages. He was the only guy, bro. He's got ambition. Maybe he wants to go and play for Real Madrid one day.
Maybe.
And that's why he's putting his foot down. We don't know. Or he wants to be Liverpool captain. God knows.
Maybe. Yeah, that's a good point.
It's like, I just don't understand. Why wasn't there anyone near Slot who's from Liverpool, who goes to games, he knows the score, just to guide him, give him a bit of. If I go to, I don't know, let me. I'm gonna go to Milan. I'm gonna be the new AC Milan manager. I've got a friend there who lives in nearby. I'm straight away bringing him up, bro. What's the score here? You know. Like, what's happening? Where's the best place to go? What are the fans like? You're like, I know a bit about AC Milan anyway, but that's what you do as a normal human being. Like, you get information and like, okay, this is a score there. I need to do, maybe not say this, maybe not do that. Study the team, study the club's history, Baresi, all that, Maldini, and find out about them, and then get to meet them when you get there. That's the homework a new football manager at a big club needs to do, and Arne Slot never did that, bro. He was more bothered about telling everyone at Feyenoord, oh, I'm off to Liverpool, in a live interview, press conference. There and then I was like, yo, this guy is not great. This guy's an idiot.
Yeah.
Just that first instance there, bro. He wasn't even the Liverpool manager. Like, in that way, he's come to Liverpool and he's in the job. Nah, he was still in Holland. And I said there and then, I was like, yo, what's this guy doing here? What's this guy doing here?
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it. Costa Curta as well, yeah. Top player.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
I don't really want to sign no players, Helio, under Slot. I don't really want to sign any more players under this manager.
That's where I'm at too. That's where I'm at too. That's why I was bringing up the whole thing, because, like, you know, I agree with you. I mean, like, this summer recruitment strategy becomes absolutely critical. You know, who we're going to bring into for the players that we think can, you know, bridge the gaps that we see physically on this team. And, you know, are players going to have rebirths in their careers? Are they going to find the form, or are they completely done? You know, like, you know, I mean, it is cases where, like, yes, you can give up on players, or you can give them another year and try to see them, you know, get dedicated and devoted to getting their levels back. And if Liverpool are going to back Slot, then these next signings have to fit, unfortunately, his vision for the football team. Because otherwise, you're going to have players that might fit a different system or fit maybe that heavy metal system that we all love, but yet you're telling them to play smooth jazz. And it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. So one of the names that's been coming up consistently is a player. Again, I got asked this again on another show. I don't really necessarily covet this player as highly as other people do, but Bradley Barcola is a name that's coming up in as a major show of interest. And Liverpool reportedly remain more insistent than ever in pursuing Bradley Barcola from PSG. I don't think that, in my opinion, that's not the first player, that's not the number one player on PSG I would be going for. Put it that way. But honestly, this is one of the most interesting links Liverpool have had in months, probably, because Barcola represents something Liverpool need desperately in our attack, and that is some explosiveness, some unpredictability. He's direct, he's aggressive, he's dynamic in transition, he attacks defenders instead of recycling possession endlessly. And if we are being honest, and if we're truly being honest, Liverpool's attack this season has often looked overreached or underwhelming, too safe, too positional, too structured. Barcola changes the game emotionally, and that matters. Now, would I rather Barcola over a player like Gordon? 9,000%. Even though that's a real number, but still, I would totally want that before. Okay. But PSG reportedly won't make this easy. If the player generally wants more minutes, maybe Liverpool have an opportunity for him. He's not going to have to sit behind Mohamed Salah or bide his time as being a platoon player or working on trying to compete for roles. Would Bradley Barcola be the right type of signing for Liverpool? Or do the Reds need more proven, ready-made, elite experience right now in their lineup, JK?
I like him. I think he's a top player.
Mm-hmm.
I'm bringing him in.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. I like Leao at AC Milan. I've always liked him, but I wanted him under Klopp. I thought Klopp would have turned him into a top player. When you think of PSG's talent, Doué is top. I really like him. I think he's a great player. Who else is out there, bro, winger-wise? Barcola, Rio. They could be the future Liverpool wingers when you look at it.
Is that what you say, guys? Do you think so?
Yeah, that's how I see it. That's how I see it, yeah.
If you were going into 2027 and we had Rio and Barcola as our wingers, you'd be okay with that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Would you out there be okay with that, the chat?
They're all going to say, boo, JK. They can shoot apples at me and everything.
No. It's only an opinion. I don't know if I'm confident in our team if we have that lineup, to be honest with you.
Look, Rio. He will toughen up. He'll get better. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The only thing he lacks for me, Rio, is a bit of direction. What's your aim here, bro? When you got that ball, what is your mission in your head? What's going on there? Mm-hmm. You understand what I mean, bro? Mm-hmm. I think this is what I'm saying. Another thing, who are the mentor coaches at the club? You know, the lads who just have a cup of tea with each other, like with the players, and sit down and talk about the game, of what the expectations are from the club side, whatever. If the any problems with the player, and enough of that's there, because you see it on the players, wouldn't you? If there was. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No doubt. He paid huge money for a striker despite us having a style of play where the striker doesn't get many touches. That's spot on, Red Armchair supporter. Hyler says, I'm willing to listen always. So what kind of attraction do you think our club projects at the moment? Can we pick players from the upper shelf this summer or as we could last summer? I think we'll always be able to pick players from the top shelf simply because we're Liverpool Football Club and because of the history that abodes by it. I think I will admit this, and this is something that sometimes people might not really gravitate towards, or I don't know, maybe they take offense to it, or I don't know, take it personal. That's more accurate. But we've got to recognize the fact that location does matter in the sense of, the confines of living in Madrid are a little bit more appealing to some than living in Manchester or Liverpool or even London. Okay. And sometimes you got to recognize that, some of these players they've got families and they're deciding on where and what location and what locale is going to be proper for them, not only to develop their football in and win trophies, but also for their children to grow up in, for their wives to, call home or make a home. And that's important. And it's about, I think as much as I love, hearing about, our heritage, I also think that, we do ourselves a definite justice by the fact that Liverpool tend to have people that bring people that are hospitable or endearing or make you feel like at home and make you feel like, you're part of a family. So that's one thing I think is beautiful about Liverpool. Pretty much every and anyone I've met from that live or were born and raised in Liverpool have been always very, very warming, I think, towards me, despite me not having been born there. They're very inviting to know, especially for a city that has gone through ups and downs, has been, isolated at times, even amongst their own. Yeah, even amongst their own, meaning like the English have isolated sometimes Liverpool from itself. So it is warming to know that we have that environment, and hopefully that that environment can be something that, you can have some type of launching pad for bringing in players and the likes. So I'll say this: if you're not going to take it, you spoke about how you like Barcola, and I'm going to give you one other player then, or two other players actually. Antonio Nusa name is now reemerging as Liverpool's monitor alternatives to Jan Diomande. Now, Diomande is to me one of my top picks. He's young, he's fast, he's exciting, and he's someone that I could see us bringing in and meshing well with Liverpool because he's got a love and interest in Liverpool already. Okay. But his talent is obvious, but RB's Leipzig want £85 million for him. That's a massive gamble. Has a massive gamble for a 19-year-old who's had one breakout year in the Bundesliga.
Yeah.
And honestly, this is where Liverpool supporters are split probably philosophically, because when you had to ask yourself, do you spend that kind of money on a player with huge upside, or do you prioritize maybe doing something where you put 50 million towards this player and 40 million towards another player or 35 million towards another player? Do you prioritize establishing production as a disaster after a disastrous season? Nusa might actually make more financial sense and maybe even tactically make more sense. He's electric, he's fearless, he's creative. still developing. But again, the question is whether Liverpool are trying to build for the next 5 years or whether we want immediate impact players to stabilize this club immediate, like now. So if Liverpool can only choose one option, one approach this summer, Barcola, Diomande, maybe even Antonio Nusa, where are you going? Which direction are you going? Would you prioritize proven elite players, or are you going to go high ceiling young talent? What's your choice?
Helio says Nusa's not good enough, so I'm going with him. Helio knows his stuff, man. Yeah, not for me. For me, I'll go in Barcola and Rio as my wingers. Diomande, he can do one for that price. No, man, what are these Leipzig people doing, man? They're actually nice people. I was there a few times. The people are nice and that, but they love doing business with us, and they're like making a lot of money out of us, you know what I mean? But 85 for that's crazy, man.
85 million.
That's just crazy. One season. That's just crazy. Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
85 million.
No, not for me. The thing is, that's the thing. It ain't our money.
It's not, and that's what
we're Liverpool fans. We look at it different. You know what I
mean? Yeah. Can I just say this too, real quick? Because it's tough to have real adult conversations sometimes when people will be like, "Oh, it's not our money. Who cares?" Look, we get that. We get it's not our money technically, but in essence, it is your money. The reason why inflation's one thing, but the reason why tickets are so expensive, why it costs so much to pay for, LFC TV, why it costs, why it's so difficult sometimes to get some of these, things rocking and rolling when it comes to trying to see your team, is because Liverpool are not your average team. And the money you're spending and the money you invest in being able to have whatever streaming service or whatever tickets that you're going to be paying for, that money, we're giving it to these owners to be stewards in investing it in our club. This is a unique club in that we are, I hate the term buy to sell, because I believe every team is buy to sell now with the way the football is established, the PSR rules and the likes. But at the same time, someone saying it's not our money is a little childish, I think. Because realistically, we want our team to be financially stable. We don't want to go through Hicks and Gillette again. We don't want to be in a case where we get fined points because we're cooking the books or we're spending too much money because it's not our money. You have to figure out ways to do this. And it means sometimes it can mean selling players that we covet. It could mean, sacrificing players, or maybe even, having to push for these levels. If we didn't get Champions League, for instance, the selection not only wouldn't be reduced, not only simply because we're not in Champions League and that's not appealing to some players, but also because of the financial reward you get for being in Champions League gets pushed into player acquisitions. So I get it's not our money, but in essence it is our money. Look at this as our club. Look at it as our money. I think when you say, "Oh, it's not our money," or "it's not that," you're separating yourself too much from it, because you're taking money out of your own pocket and giving it to some entity, whether it's the broadcast stations, or whether it's Liverpool directly, or whether it's the apparel, or whether it's, whatever, the airline that they use. You're giving money out of your own pocket. So it is your money. It is your money. And that's why, if you didn't look at it that way, in my opinion, and I'll get back to these stories, and I'm going to look up a rant, but all the same, I look at it as if it wasn't you looking at it that way, if it wasn't you looking at it that way, then you'd have ownership looking at it the same way the Glazers looked at the Manchester United team, as a piggy bank for themselves, as opposed to trying to establish a team that can bring in revenue, be able to be self-sustaining, and be able to compete on a high level. That's the difference, I think, personally. I think that's a major difference. Sorry about that. I was trying to figure out, hopefully it's nothing serious. One second. Anyhow, let's get down to it. Let's get into this next story, because this is speaking about money, and it's not your money or our money. There's going to be lots of money being returned to the coffers by Mohamed Salah moving on. David James made a really interesting point I think we should discuss when coming to how we replace Mohamed Salah, because statistically, you don't replace Salah. I think you can survive after him, but I think you don't replace Salah. That's the reality I'm facing, or that's the reality I'm living with, reality I'm believing in. But David James mentioned names like Dembele or Desiree Doué from PSG. We're not getting Dembele, okay? So that's just not happening. But also acknowledge how absurd, expensive, elite attacking replacements now are in this market. This may be Liverpool's defining recruitment challenge in the modern era, because Salah isn't just goals, he's gravity, he's fear factor, he's defensive attention, he's reliability, he's aura. Players change entire defensive structures because Salah exists and is on that pitch. Once that leaves, we'll find teams attacking us or defending against us, especially, differently. I think, truthfully, you get players. I've said it before. I said that, if we had transitioned to a different formation and we had tried to, maybe utilize Salah's talent and skills in other roles, we could have maybe positioned him to be able to continue on with us in a high productive level. He didn't have to be all about pace on that wing. He could maybe be relied on as something of a creator in the middle. Or maybe even an asset up front as a striker option. But that's not going to be the case. And we're eventually going to have to phase our reliance on Salah out of this team. But I'm asking JK, hopefully he's with me, can Liverpool realistically replace Salah with one signing, or is it going to require completely attacking rebuild spread over multiple players? Or we're going to have to bring in multiple players to try to bring back some type of resource like that in Mohamed Salah? Oh, I'm not sure if JK is with us or not. If he's not with us, you can maybe answer that in the chat for us too. Big up, William. Thank you very much. That was kind of you. Okay. Sadio Mane won the Saudi Pro League. That's Congratulations to him for sure. But let's see. You there, JK?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm asking, can Liverpool really realistically replace Salah with one signing?
Yeah, but with that new signing, be able to handle their expectations. You know, that's the thing. We need a guy who's going to come in and just crack on with it. And that's the thing that you can't replace Salah, man. Come on, it's a very difficult job to do. You all thought Arne Slot could replace Klopp. He did it for the one season. This season he couldn't. So that's going to be a tricky one. But the thing is, at the end of the day, all these players and stuff is the manager for me. We can't carry on with this manager and his style of play. So you can have Maradona, Pele, and Beckenbauer and Ruud Gullit, bro. You still ain't going to do nothing with this manager.
You're really not. Really not.
True. Trent missing from the team. A lot of direction of games and the direction of how we played and everything was through Trent.
Well, that's
realize it.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though, is that which is why, we could say what we wanted about the choices and the way that he departed from the team, but we all could recognize the fact that Jurgen Klopp made Trent Alexander-Arnold a cornerstone in our offense. In the way that we were structurally put together, he was an important piece, and he could be sometimes used as a cheat code with his passing. So his absence is missed, but I don't even know if because it got to a place where people were talking about what do you do with that right back position, for instance, right now. I'm going to talk about the left back in a second, but for right now, the right back role. Are you going to trust that Connor Bradley can come back from injury and make that number one, make that the number one spot? Are you going to trust Frimpong will have another year of learning and knowing what it is that we expect from a right back and him to be able to fill that role? Does maybe a year of humility bring back Calvin Ramsey? Who knows? As maybe just as a third option.
Nah, bro. Look, Arne Slot. If Calvin Ramsey can't get a game in this dodgy season, he's never going to get a game. We've had Curtis Jones at right back, bro. So for me, that lad ain't going to get a chance. Bradley, he won't be ready for the season, I don't believe as well. And it might take him a bit of time. We don't know where he's at right now. And I wish him the best, bro. That was a dodgy injury anyway. How it happened, weird.
Yeah, it was a very, very weird injury, freak injury, to tell you the truth. Well, on the left side, Andy Robertson's exit is all but assured now. As we know, he's doing the tours on, taking photos by his murals and, discussing. He's already made and announced his plans to leave at the end of the season. But Andy Robertson's comments about Milos Kerkez were honestly, in my opinion, nothing short of the pure class we expect from Robbo. No bitterness, no ego, no nothing but straight honesty from him. And Robertson basically admitted people said his legs were gone. He accepted that the club needed to evolve and publicly backed Kirkes to succeed him at Liverpool. That is a true leader, by the way. It also highlights something Liverpool have missed this season. That's strong changing room voices that stabilize difficult transitions. Because replacing Robbo isn't just about replacing a left back. It's about replacing mentality and aggression and standards, all those things, wrapped up in one. And the connection, especially with the supporters, is huge. Players need to have connections with the fans. And Kirkes has the talent, no question. But now comes the pressure of following one of Liverpool's modern greats and making a connection with the fans. So how difficult is it? How difficult will it be, I should say? Will it actually be to replace Robbo, like his mentality and leadership at Liverpool? How difficult do you think it will be?
Kirkes has got better the longer the season's got on. It's going to be look, bro, best left back in Premier League history, assist wise. Won 2 Premier League titles, Champions League, cost £5 down the pub. Like this guy, for me, I'm telling you now, bro. Money wise, pound for pound, the best ever signing in the Premier League ever. 7 million, I think it was, something like that. Name me a better player for that price in Premier League history.
True.
There isn't one. Yeah, frees are free. Don't get me wrong. But you've got to pay for something for 7 million, and you're thinking, like, 7 million, what's that? 2 months Salah's wages? And we've got the best left back in Premier League history, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard to replace him.
I'll tell you about yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was going to just say, just his urgency to move to Tottenham. Like, I want to go to Tottenham. We never hear him say that, but all the time he's like, he's off to Tottenham. I think he was out the door nearly, and then all of a sudden something happened and he didn't go. So there's something not right with the manager and all these big time Charlies at the club. There's something not right there, bro. Slot can't handle these big time guys. You know what I mean? Yeah. He can't handle them. Like, for me, if you got guys like Robertson and Salah and Alisson and Virgil all there, ready to play for you, you should be counting your lucky stars. You'd be like, you know what I mean? That side of the game, the mental side of the game. I've got lads there who have been there, done it, who know how to handle the game and that, and they can help the younger players, the new guys who will just come in and settle in. That, this is what I'm saying, bro. I don't know what they've been doing. I think us lot in the group and me and you would have done a better job than all of them Edwards and all them guys there this season. It's just been terrible all season, bro. In the way they let news out, what time they let news out, and stuff like that. For me, when Jurgen said he was going to leave, for me it was a mistake. He should have said it at the end of the season, but they decided as a club to do it then. So there you go. Always wrong decisions they're making in that way. Fair enough, off the pitch they're making their businesses and stuff like that, but they don't understand they can add an extra 5 million on a contract with a firm if they go and win the Premier League or Champions League.
Right.
It's the biggest marketing tool in the world, bro. Winning. Simple as. And players and Wirtz came to Liverpool for 2 reasons. One, he won the Premier League. He was like, yeah, sorted. They just won the Premier League. And 2 was Salah, bro. And we haven't been winning this season, and Salah hasn't really been playing. So all these things, like for me, Wirtz and Salah could have combined better. I was really looking forward to them two combining, and they did it a few times this season. And Wirtz got a goal, 1-2 with Salah. It was like, there you go. Why weren't we doing that all season? And it's all down to the manager for me. Trying to imply his way of football.
Yeah.
Nah, man. It's too lethargic. It's too slow that the opposition realise they can get a win here.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're doing there. You know what I mean? The way he plays football at the start of a game is how you play a football match in the 80th minute when you're 3-0 up. Simple as.
Yeah, but that's because he figures out that it seems like he figures that 2-0 lead should be sufficient to be able to hold on to the win, and that should be, and the control, having possession, having control should be enough to get you over the line. I don't agree with that, but I think there's a lot more that's involved in that. But I'm not the coach. Well, I'll tell you something. You're talking about disgruntled players, at least, and that is Tyler Morton reportedly became untouchable at Lyon, and that's incredible and honestly awesome to see, because I think Tyler Morton was a player that gave to this club and also wanted to continue to help contribute, but just wasn't given the opportunity. I think there were some of us that believed there was talent there, but we just never got the proper opportunities for him to display that. This coach certainly picks and chooses. I mean, like, look, there's a young man named Trey Leone that I think should, and needs to be implemented more into our lineups, the same way, on the same levels as a Rio, to be honest with you. I think it'd be fantastic to see the player grow with this club and grow as a formidable player, but we're not seeing it. And then it's a very similar situation. I saw some great moments. Let me see if I can maybe even include some of the photos as well. Let's see if I can share them. Hold on one second. I was happy to see this yesterday. Obviously, yesterday was the Europa final, and in the final, let me see if I can see where it is. Let me show you this. You could see a Liverpool player do something that no Liverpool player this season has done, and that is lift a trophy. Harvey Elliott somehow won another trophy despite a frustrating spell at Villa. He was on the bench. He got his medal. Both situations raised uncomfortable questions for Liverpool. I would have liked to have seen him get on the pitch actually in that final, but he didn't. But all the same, he did receive his trophy and his medal. And I'll ask you, are young players being developed properly at this team, do you think, JK? Do you think young players are being... Yeah.
Look at all the players we got rid of last season. I think Kwanzaa and Elliott would have been two guys who have been around the club for about 3 years and know the score, would have been valuable on the bench this season.
Yeah, agreed.
Stupid mistakes, bro. Like, God knows what this guy is thinking, what is in his brain. Like, come on. Harvey Elliott, 3 goals he got you last season in the Champions League. Bang, bang, bang. And you get rid of him. Like, keep him around for another season. His price ain't going to drop. Probably even get better if he smashes it with us this season. Big mistake. Kwanzaa, another guy. Up and coming. And then Slot decides to bring him off at half-time, bro. Yeah, we won the game. But come on, man. You're trying to make an example of Kwanzaa? Come on, man.
Yeah.
You know? Them sort of things, bro. And as soon as that happened, I was like, this guy ain't the right one for Liverpool. I don't care who's won the Premier League. You know, this guy isn't right. Yeah. He tries to portray that he's the guy, but for me, at the end of the day, I need a friendly manager.
Yeah,
You know,
he wants someone that you not
he,
only
he's
believe in,
too he's too
trust.
Wall Street.
Mm-hmm.
He's too Wall Street for me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He's like
Wolf of
he's
Wall
too
Street.
that type
Yeah,
of guy.
yeah. Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah, definitely.
Or the sheep of Wall Street. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the end of
Look.
the day, I think he's been his own worst enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Overcomplicating football. Like, how has he got the Liverpool job and I haven't? No, I'm being serious here now, bro. It's like this guy don't have to be. He doesn't know what football is. It's like I'm being serious here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'd have Helio, Red Armchair. I'll have them in my team with me, no problem. And we will do a much better job than he has with them 7 guys behind him with iPads in their hands every fucking game.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you that now, bro. I tell you that now. Lee Wizkid, Trudon, whatever. Bring everyone, and we'll do a better job. Because why? We don't want to change nothing. We just want to keep the thing flowing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like it ain't all about me. We live in a world where that's why I called out Slot and Szoboszlai last season, bro. At the end of the season, when the whistle blew, I said, "Great, we win the Premier League." But for me, I'm not happy with Slot or Szoboszlai. And when you look at these 2 guys individually, bro, they're very, it's all about me type of characters.
Mm-hmm.
There's the door, fuck off. They didn't work at Liverpool. Okay? It's just the way we've run this season, comical. Okay? Klopp leaves and the house falls down. It's as simple as that. The house that he built up, that tradition, the mindset. We're not Chelsea. We're not Arsenal. We're not even Man United. We are Liverpool. And that's why, for me, Salah's words, I've got no problem with that. It's about time someone did. Okay, Virgil van Dijk's face. Okay, this is the worst year his face has ever looked at Liverpool. Normally, he looks like a Versace model. This season, he looked really bad. He didn't look like no model. He looked stressed. And he's meant to be the best in the world. For me, when Virgil van Dijk is stressed, that's, something's not right. He's a smooth operator, bro. Sade, he's a smooth operator. Yeah. He does it with style. He's chilled. He does it with style, bro. As soon as I've seen Virgil's face this season, we're in trouble here. There you go. Come on.
Yeah.
Even beans on toast are taking with me as well. I'm like, bro, come.
There you go.
Let's do a better job than them lads with 7 iPads in their fucking hands. Can't handle that no more. They're all there. Well, what are them guys doing? What are they telling Arnie? Like, Arnie, look, bruv, tell the players to put the foot down. Like, that's what you do if you're in a team, don't you? You talk with each other and tell them, hey, look what's happened. We've slowed it down and they've taken over the game. Oh, come on.
There you do.
I know people are, a lot of people keep saying to me as well, it's the players as well, definitely, because for me, them last minute equalizers and losses and stuff, that's down to the players for me.
Yeah, I agree.
But the 85 minutes before are down to the manager. Why? Because instead of going for the 3rd, 4th goal, he just went with the 2. What's happened now? Fulham, they get a last minute equaliser, 2-2, ciao. So that's down to the manager. So, but the mistakes or whatever we do is down to the players, bro.
Yeah. That's what it comes down to. I'm going to do some rapid fire with this next little spot, next story, and I'll do rapid fire in the sense I'll bring up 4 players. First player is Gerard Bowen. Liverpool are reportedly monitoring Gerard Bowen if West Ham are to be relegated. And honestly, I know people understood that I like Bowen. I think he's a good player. I think he'd be a good squad player, not a starter. I'm not saying he's a starter. I said a good squad player to have on our team. I think of him as maybe a more reliable player, more reliable than Chiesa style player, in that I think Chiesa could have been that reliable squad player this season. Unfortunately, he just never got enough rhythm with getting minutes and starts and the likes. He's always just thrown in for the last like 5-6 minutes of trash time. But I think that if Chiesa is to go this season, which I think is most likely going to happen, I think that Bowen would be a very good replacement to bring in a real player that has Premier League ability, but also is a player that could play multiple positions, whether it's striker or whether it's a center forward or whether it's the wing position. And also he brings leadership and he brings true confidence in everything. So I would say something along those lines.
Like for me, I'd rather go for that Fernandes they've got in midfield. I reckon he's quality, and yeah, man. Forget Bowen. I'm going for Fernandes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, quality. And Beans on Toast has made me laugh, man. His song Beans on Toast, la 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 la. That's too funny. He wants to be the manager. It's true, bro. No holidays, no social media, and no fucking women handbags. Leave that to your woman, man. You know what I mean? Leave that to your missus. Them sort of things. And if you change your colour of your hair that you're born with, you're not playing. Sorry. No. I ain't having none of that crap.
How about this name then? Hugo Larsson. He's someone that continues to be linked from Frankfurt. I know that you might know of his play a little bit. Another technically gifted midfielder. The question becomes, does Liverpool need more technicians or do we need more physical dominance in the midfield? I think a little bit more of the latter.
Yeah, physical, bro. We've got enough talented, creative type of players. It's that bit of steel we're lacking. Like when you got a player like Florian Wirtz, bro. What I liked about Curtis this season was every time Wirtz had the ball, he made an effort to go really close to him to give him support. We need a guy who's going to come on the pitch, and as soon as we've got the ball, he's there to brush off anyone else who's trying to get near the guy with the ball. Wirtz is Szoboszlai. And that's what football is, bro. It's a game of chess. And we haven't done that enough. Players have walked through us. Who supported Wirtz this season, really? Ekatike and Curtis Jones and a bit of Salah. That's all right, bro.
Yeah, pretty much.
He wants James Milner as his assistant. So me and you are out of the picture, bro. There you go.
There you go. Okay.
We get him the job, and then he don't want us as
it's all
assistant.
Good. It's all good. I'll gladly take the role Edwards has at the squad right now or something. There you go.
You do that, bro. That'd be cool. You do that.
Yeah. I'll go and take that role. There's another name from a team that is definitely going to be relegated. Now, West Ham might be relegated. They still have an opportunity and chance to not get relegated on the final day. Yeah. Good luck to them.
Good luck to them, man.
But Paul Lambert believes that Wolves forward Matheus Mane should be on Liverpool's radar, and he has been a name mentioned before. He's explosive. He's definitely adapted to the Premier League, but he's very, very raw when it comes to talent and proven, consistency. Is he a name that's on your list?
I can't really say he is. He's good, but is he ready? Liverpool ready?
Right.
That's the thing.
Yeah. That is the thing. So is he or is he not, in your opinion?
Look, bro, if we get him in as a second winger type of thing, cool. Bring him in, add to the squad. You know what I mean? I like him. I think he's a good little player. Good little player.
Okay.
But he won't be the main guy.
No, he wouldn't be.
But if you bring him and Barcola in, for example, okay, Mane and Barcola, we've got Rio on the other side and Gapco maybe. I'll be all right with that. Coupe Jr. is good. I like Coupe Jr. He smashed it at Bournemouth. I just feel like he's a bit more of a striker, isn't he?
Who else?
Yeah, I would get two wingers like that, Barcola and Mane, for example, and a solid DM, and that Sensei from Bournemouth as a free. I'll do that because we've already got Jacques and Leone, so I'd get two wingers, Barcola, Mane, a solid DM. And we can see Stiller in the World Cup, which starts in 3 weeks today. Actually, it's Mexico against South Africa first game. So that'll be on today, bro. You watch 12 man, would be laughing, you know, it'd be like normal hours for him watching the game, and we're all like waking up at 5, 6 in the morning to watch it. He'd be like,
Yep.
But look, this is going to be a big World Cup, so there'll be players in there who are going to shine. You know, I'm really looking forward to see Wirtz and Stiller playing. Just for me, Wirtz, he probably wants to play good in the World Cup now because thinking he ain't had a great season. You know what I mean? And he'll be starting for Germany, no problem about that. Musiala's come back now. Yeah. This is what I'm saying about football, bro. Remember the old days? Names would be just popping out of anywhere. You'd be like, yeah, he's the guy, and him. Nowadays, because of the standard of what we're after, it's very difficult to say, yeah, he's the guy now. Because when you're getting quoted 75 to 80 million for a lad who's just smashed it for one season, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a bit difficult. Like, so for me, I'm getting Fernandez from West Ham, Barcola from PSG. That's two names straight away. I bring in straight away. Fernandez, Barcola, and I like Gibbs White. I think Gibbs White. Okay. I like Gibbs White. I think he's got that determination, what we lacked all season. That Fernandez and Gibbs White in midfield sound. Bring them into the squad, sorted. Okay. McAllister, maybe he will leave. Okay, so them two guys, Barcola and Mane. There's your 4 signings. And them 4 players will definitely make us better. Definitely. But the top signing for me would be the manager. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because he's got to put it all together.
What do you reckon of them 4 signings there, bro? Fernandez, Gibbs White, Mane, and Barcola.
Say the list one more time again. Fernandez, Barcola,
Gibbs White,
Mane from Wolves, right?
Yeah.
That'd be a solid summer
transfer. That'd be solid, bro. That Fernandez from West Ham is fucking wicked. I watched him all season. I'm like, yo, this guy is good. First time I seen him, I was like, yo, this guy's good. I think he's even in the Portugal World Cup squad. That's how well he's done. Good little player, bro, and teams will be after him. Yeah, him and Gibbs White all day. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say like I like what you're like the play some of those players, but I there's other players that I would like have higher on my priority list. I don't know how much I'd have to figure out how much to try to give a proper comparison to the players and the money I would spend. I would have to figure out how much you're actually spending, because I don't know how much all those players would be. I don't have an idea.
He's gonna be big dollar, bro. I know Fernandez is getting quoted big dollar already.
But he's on if he's on a team that's being relegated, that's one thing.
Yeah, that's why for me, if you can get him for 40, I'm happy. Bang, get it done. Good player. Gibbs White could be expensive. 70, they're going to be asking for 70 for him, 60, 70, 80. Could be anything. But fair play to him, he's doing well.
I don't think that you'll get Gibbs White simply because Gibbs White is on a team that has an owner that already played hardball with Gibbs White.
Yeah, but there's going to come a time where that same player's thinking, you know what, I want to win Champions Leagues now.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I want to win something.
I'm sure. But I'm just thinking that maybe. Well, if it's not, go ahead.
No, I just said not. Helio was talking about that. I think it was Helio was talking about the other day about that Rajan guy coming in.
Oh, so yeah, the Brazilian
set piece.
Oh, I thought you were talking about.
Okay, yo, bro. What you just said now, you just said Brazilian. Okay, forget Mane. I won't take Mane. I'll take Barcola and that lad from Bournemouth. The Brazilian winger.
Yeah, he's talented.
I'll take him. He's good. I'll take him, Barcola, Gibbs White, and Fernandez. Bang. That's my window, man.
Boom.
Maybe a right back. Maybe, because he's not looking great. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's what position you forgot to mention possibly, and that's a position that we might have to go out and get a replacement for, or at least coverage, or if you're going to make this particular player a starter, or maybe even a replacement if you're not going to find him as your starter, because there's Alisson. Is the situation with Alisson is that Juventus reportedly are still very interested. Me personally, I think selling Alisson right now is a mistake. I think that the money that you're going to get back in return for Ali isn't going to be substantial enough that you can go out and get a replacement. Certainly not even the money you're getting is probably not going to pay for a backup, possibly. Okay, or at least the kind of backup that you'd want to bring in. So I think selling Alisson right now would be insanity, basically. Yeah. Liverpool already have a world-class, player in Ali, and he is a important player in the locker room. So I just think that out of all the names, I was gonna say, out of all the names linked today, which signing feels the most Liverpool, and which one feels the least convincing to you?
I just feel the Alisson thing is there must be some energy coming from Alisson's side that he wants to go, because he don't drop. Because if a guy wants to stay at a club, he'll quash that news and he won't come out again. You understand? He keeps carrying on this one. So for me, there could be some interest from Alisson's side, thinking, you know what, I don't want to play here no more with this manager. That could be a sign, bro. It's mad how all the old school players are all like opting to leave. Robertson, Salah, Alisson, they're like, fuck this. They've done it with the top guy. They're like, nah, this ain't for me.
Right.
There you go, man. There you go. Look at the actions of the players, bro. That tells you everything you need to know about this manager.
Very well put. Tells you a lot about what we have going on, to be honest with you.
Curtis, even Curtis, like this Inter Milan thing don't drop.
Yeah.
Look, bro, there's something not right, man. It could be the owners, Edwards, doing it behind the scenes and just using Slot as the face of it.
I think it is more of that. I think it's more of that.
I think it is. I think it's more of that, bro.
Because Slot doesn't, as much as I know people are giving Slot all the blame, Slot doesn't go out and say, get me this player, get me that player, and it happens or something along those lines. It's more of the backroom staff ends up figuring out what they feel is the direction of what they want to do. They obviously consult the coach as well, to make sure that he's on board. But I mean, realistically, I really think that this board has their own vision of what they want as opposed to it's Slot's vision. I think they're kind of like catering towards Slot lately, but a lot of these players have been no-brainers. Like, look, Isak's a talented player. It's no-brainer to go out and get that player. Florian Wirtz is a talented player. It's no-brainer to go get him as a player. Kirkes was possibly one of the best, if not the best left back. He was at least looked at as being the best left back last season in the Premier League. So that's a no-brainer. Frimpong at one point, he was looked at as being the best right back or at least right wing back in the Bundesliga, so that was a no-brainer. Bringing those players didn't seem like it was, heavy math, but now making it all, gel together is another thing. That's where it takes a good coach being able to bring about the right responsibilities for these players to make them shine. And that's been questionable. That's been very questionable. It's the reason why I don't think that the play has been very cohesive. But it is now where you see, we might have some very difficult conversations to have this summertime, and that's the struggle. Is that it's not all a lot of the pressure or a lot of the angst and a lot of the anxiety is still relevant to a lot of us, and it's not going away this summer. And that's the unfortunate thing. There's no player that we get signed this player and then everyone just takes a big, sigh of relief. No, we have a bunch still on our plates. Pressure on the manager, pressure on recruitment, pressure on ownership, pressure on the players. Yeah. And we as fans tend to have it on our own shoulders as well. So I'll give you a story that this is the final story, at least before we get to the moment of Red Zen. I'll get to the story that just popped up recently that I saw, and it's something that I saw it and I got it was just another, smack in the face, basically, because Manchester City have 115, really 130, but 115 charges that we all know about. A case that finally feels like it's lasted longer than some football eras, I would say, But sports lawyer Tom Murray believes that City will likely be found guilty of something. But also, that's bold to say. You got 115 charges, if not 130. You would think that, chances are you're going to be found guilty on something, And they're already guilty of things that they already understand, because some of those charges are not wanting to submit voluntarily to giving the Premier League their records, for instance. That's something obviously they're guilty of. I'm not speaking, I don't think, too boldly, because whether they're found guilty or not, it's one thing. The judge could maybe make another decision or maybe administer it. But it's obvious, because that's something that City has held out on, is giving up their records. But probably one of the most frustrating parts for us as football supporters is nobody knows exactly what accountability looks like anymore when it comes to seeing Everton or seeing Forest or seeing Leicester get penalized and having points taken away almost immediately. And if City are innocent, cool, clear them. If they're guilty, they need to be not only punished, but they need to be punished severely. I'm not saying that's just because they're a rival or a hated club. More so, they have benefited on that alleged cheating. And it is something that's very important to talk about, I think there was a point in this conversation, this article at least, that spoke that Manchester City have a verdict, basically. This verdict's been done. But why this matters massively to Liverpool historically is because Liverpool were the club that most directly competed against Manchester City during that era. The margins were microscopic, 1 point, 90 points plus seasons, title races that become psychologically absurd. That's what supporters are now deeply being connected to and connecting this outcome to. But it is being said that we might not have a verdict that is given publicly for another 2 years. That's what the article at least spoke on. We're supposed to just allow for this to just simmer for a whole nother 2 years. Well, albeit Pep Guardiola is no longer at the helm of this Manchester City team. They still have the same mentality of coffers to draw from, and they've had the benefit of winning titles and getting Champions League placements and the likes, of being able to build off of that success to help position themselves to be an odds-on favorite in almost every season that the Premier League starts. So if Manchester City are ultimately found guilty, should titles be stripped? Should points be deducted? Or should punishments only affect future seasons, maybe? My personal opinion is it should be a combination of all of that. I was showing the lads a graphic that showed the four biggest leagues in Europe, and it showed the winners in all those leagues. Now, the Bundesliga is ridiculous. Now, 10 years, Bayern Munich has won that league 9 out of 10 times. They have a monopoly on how that league is set up, and they are able to continue to manipulate and be the juggernaut they are in that league. In France, I think PSG has won it something like seven times or something around that number. And you could even say they're a little bit of a farmers league in itself too. It's just a matter of whether PSG is going to step up and win the league or not. In La Liga, it has been a 2-horse race. It's either been Barcelona or Real Madrid. I believe five trophies have now been Barcelona. 4 trophies have now been to Real Madrid. And Atletico Madrid has a sole title of their own in that 10-year span. Whether that constitutes being Farmers League or not, that's your interpretation. But it is certainly a league that is heavily dominated by one of 2 teams. And then you look at the Premier League. And obviously you'll have a new title. You have a new winner this season in Arsenal. You've had us as the winner last season, but in this particular graphic, it didn't have this season included. And it went 10 years back, and that's how Leicester got involved in the graphic. But other than Leicester, the only team that's actually made any difference in the champion or being the champion of the Premier League has been Liverpool Football Club. Now, there was a year that we made Europa. Maybe we're not in Europa if Manchester City had been properly adjudicated against. Maybe this conversation is different if Klopp is sitting on 3 Premier League titles rather than just 1. Maybe it's a case where Manchester City all of a sudden look mortal right about the time when the 115 charges were announced and more attention was drawn towards Manchester City. Is that a coincidence? That's for you to decide. But I definitely think it's a very interesting circumstance that all of a sudden, Manchester City, despite them spending money, they still spend significant money. But all of a sudden, Manchester City don't have that invulnerability. They don't have that 90-plus standard settled into their DNA. And it kind of co-aligns right when people started paying more attention to their books. I think this matters, again, massively because of what we've done in the history of trying to play this game right, and not only play the game right, but also play it as financially right as well. I guess regardless of what happens, Liverpool cannot build their future around whether City get punished or not. That's obvious. We have to rebuild ourselves. We have to work on our own identity, our own intensity, our own recruitment mentality, develop our own leaders. That's the real challenge now. But I do realistically want to know, should Manchester City, if found guilty, should they have the harshest, and I mean the harshest penalty possible, strapped to them, considering that this case has gone on for multiple years? And while they still, it's kind of like, it's almost like watching some kingpin make millions of money, millions and millions of financial rewards off of ill-gotten gains, then launder it and sit there and say, hey, I'm one of you now, despite the fact that they have gotten all that money or gotten all that fame and fortune in an alleged disputable way. I don't know if Pep is leaving because of this. I don't know if Pep is leaving because he knows that for another year, Manchester City will probably be safe from being relegated or being admonished. But I do know that we as football supporters and believers in the Premier League deserve an answer. We deserve something, because it's not only about those clubs that were fighting for titles against Manchester City. It's also about the clubs that got relegated. It's also about the clubs that missed out on Champions League, because this team allegedly got to cheat and then act as if everything was normal. That's a problem. I know that the too big to fail thing is a real thing. I understand that. But I mean, realistically, I think that if this league has allowed for a team to be able to get away with cheating, I think then you have allowed for this league to be, you've done a disservice to honoring this league's history and integrity. So, all right, Liverpool Football Club stands at the crossroads. Honestly, the next few months are obviously going to be something that the club will need to focus on. We need to rediscover our identity, obviously. We need to get behind this coach if it's going to be Slot or whether it's going to be another coach, whoever it is that's going to be our head coach. We certainly need to rally behind these lads and hope that they can put some real emphasis on the pride that they deserve to have or they need to have in this badge and wearing this badge. We'll find out soon enough. Obviously, this weekend is going to be a very big emotional weekend for a lot of us. You can probably get an answer as to whether Salah is right. You can also see if the fans overreacted to Saddam. Should be interesting to see, but I'm going to give your moment of zen right now because I know there's some people out there that have been trying to compare Arteta to Klopp simply on the fact that in his seventh year, not his fifth, but his seventh year, Arteta has won a Premier League title. £1 billion later, he has won a title.
Mm-hmm.
And that's net spend. I don't want to get into the whole net spend thing. Net spend's an easy way to just conceptualize money in, money out. I get that there's other factors, agent fees, salaries, all that stuff goes involved into, wages all get involved in the overall money that you have for your transfer kitty. But net spend's the easiest way to recognize it into layman's terms, and they have spent $1 billion in money for their players. Whereas opposed to, I think the net spend was something like 63 million or something for Klopp up to the time that he had up to the time that he won his Premier League in his fifth year.
There you go.
But there's something that makes a little bit more sense, maybe. And this might be seen as being just salty, but guess what? I don't care. I guess it matters if, that Arteta has been able to win this season, because there was a number that I saw that was very, very interesting. They showed a statistic that showed how many times clubs have benefited from VAR errors this season. Okay. How many times have been VAR errors? And actually, you know what? Let me just do a quick math here. It's 25. That's 32. That's 38. That's 44. 50. 60. 73. 79. 82. 84. 86. 88, 90. So this math, I'm doing quick math, so maybe I might be one or two off, but there have been 92 VAR errors accredited this season to the Premier League. 92 VAR errors.
I forget it.
That is wild, first off. That is so wild.
A mistake is a mistake, but it happens 90. How many times? 97?
Yeah. It says 92 times. Or at least that's 92. The number I count.
That's too many missed times, That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing.
That is absolutely embarrassing.
But they act like they portray themselves like they're the bee's knees, like they're the guys who know what they're doing. I told you before, bro. I've been saying it. Too many people in the wrong jobs.
Yeah.
We're talking about some refereeing, and It's mad.
Well, you might say you might say, JK, oh well, 92 errors is a lot of errors. Wow, that's a lot of errors. Well, Liverpool, for instance, we benefited 3 times apparently from VAR errors this season. 3.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. How about Aston Villa? Villa had a decent season this year. They benefited from 5 VAR errors this season. Who else did we think of? United had 6 VAR errors that benefited their run this season in the Premier League. 6. Manchester City, 6. Wow. Okay. Well, why would I have Arteta here in this picture looking at the VAR?
He's top of the pops, isn't he?
Would it be a weird statistic if you were told that Arsenal have benefited from VAR errors this season? Not 3 times, not 6 times, not even 7 times, which is Chelsea and Bournemouth, who come in its tie for second place. Arsenal have benefited 18 times from VAR errors this season.
18
Whoa. VAR errors have been in Arsenal's favor this season. It's why you see memes saying it's not the Emirates anymore, it's the PGMOL stadium. That's why you see the PGMOL being rather than Arsenal's name being chiseled onto the trophy. They're chiseling it on PGMOL. "18 times Arsenal has benefited from VAR errors this season.
That's mad.
That's more than double. That's more than double the team that's in second place, which is Bournemouth and Chelsea, 7.
Double and a bit more.
You could add up Bournemouth and Chelsea together, and Arsenal still had more than them.
Yeah. Add them and ours, them 2 teams and ours, and we're equal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sure, let's call them errors, as Helio says. You know what I mean? Come on, they're not errors, bro. It's like, but I've seen a video the other day of a guy saying Arsenal have to win it this season.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one of them conspiracy theories sort of things. Mm-hmm. That Arsenal are going to win it this season. He said it's about time.
Mm-hmm.
Blah blah blah. Yeah.
Oh, it was bound to happen at some point when if you can't win it yourself, the PGMOL finds a way to help you out.
They've got your back.
They got your back.
That and 1.3 billion spent on players. You're sorted.
Yeah.
This is what I mean. But why him? The guy's a jerk. The guy's just a jerk. Like Arteta, his aura. Mm-hmm. He's like, if he was a top lad, you think, fair play to him, he's done it. At least United didn't win it. You know what I mean, bro?
Yeah. Arteta
is so bad that we were crying for Man City to win it, bro. The whole Premier League was.
Mm-hmm.
That's how much of this Arteta and this Arsenal players and that. Quick question. What's your prediction of the Champions League final score-wise?
Say one more time.
What is your Champions League prediction score-wise?
Oh, Champions League prediction.
I've got a number in my head.
I'm hoping it's like 4-0.
I've gone with a 4-1.
Okay.
Or a 5-1. One of them ones. 4-1, 5-1. You watch PSG, bro. Since I've seen them playing that Bayern Munich second leg game, a respect of them has gone up in my books. Like the way they played that game.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, fair play to you, man. That was a team playing for their manager. And it's as simple as that, bro.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a measure in itself. I was going to say this though. There's going to be something that you got to get at least a little bit of props to. I guess, there's got to be something that we can put together and feel good about. It's not that much in this conversation that you would think, but there is something that I do have as a moment of Red Zen that might be at least decent to conceptualize as being something that we could get happy about, something that we might even look forward to. But we are going to be saying goodbye, obviously, to two players that are very important to a lot of us. And just recently, Liverpool, I didn't know that they really did this, which is cool though. They are now, I'll bring this full center here. They are now going to be they're making two movies. They're two documentary style movies. So when Liverpool say goodbye to Mohamed Salah and to, let me show you the other one too. To Andy Robertson. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're obviously not saying goodbye to just two players. We're saying goodbye to two pillars of this team, and two players that are definitely the modern Liverpool empire participants and contributors. Salah gets farewell to the king. Let me bring back Salah's. His movie is called Farewell to the King. It premieres Friday, May 22nd. That's 5 p.m. British Standard Time. It's built around an intimate Anfield dressing room interview and moments on the pitch with his daughters and the likes. For Robbo, we're going to see Robbo, My Liverpool is what it's called. And on Thursday is going to be his, it'll be the week after on Thursday, May 28th. It'll feature Klopp. It'll feature teammates. It'll feature former Reds reflecting on his journey. And I think it tells you everything about these two players. One was a global superstar. One was an emotional engine for this team. Together, they helped build and define Klopp era and two Premier League titles, a Champions League, a Club World Cup, a FA Super Cup, FA Cup, a Super Cup, two League Cups. This is not just a tribute. This is not just tribute to them. This is Liverpool closing a chapter, obviously. This uncomfortable part of saying goodbye is never easy. They are replacing standards, mentality, and personality, edge, and memories of two players that we loved watching play, and we continue to wish the best for. It's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough. But again, I wanted to share this with you. Check it out. On the 28th is Robbo's premiere, and on the 22nd will be this guy right here, the Egyptian king. Farewell to the king. Let me see if I can get this to. I hate they hide this behind the thing, and sometimes I can't get it. There we go. It's difficult sometimes. You can maximize it, but it's difficult to minimize it sometimes. But again, there we are. There's your moment of Zen. Robbo, living Liverpool living legend for sure. Two cornerstones, definitely high lore. I would agree with that too. Do you want to say something to the people or about your moment of Red Zen there, JK, before we bounce out?
Yeah, man. What a time. When you look at it, they cost like 40 million together.
Mm-hmm.
And probably the best players in their positions in Premier League history.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. What players, what energy, what drive, you know, that drive they had to be the best and to win. For me, the thing that stands out for Robertson is that run against, I think it was United, where he kept on running after the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember? He was the furthest guy forward and he kept on running, bro. I was like, yo, who's this guy here? This guy's on something else, you know? I was like, yo. For me, that day when he did that, I was just bang. Loved the guy, you know? And then with Salah, bro, words can't describe how valuable this guy's been to us and stuff like that. And I feel the latest thing that happened with him, with his little interview and that, he's taken the shine away. You know, we should be sort of celebrating his time with us, really. More people are worried about, oh, he shouldn't have said that and all that bullshit. And that's the shameful thing for me. We should be celebrating this lad played for us, gave us his best years. Could have gone anywhere and he came to Liverpool. And he loves Liverpool, bro. You can see it in his aura.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. Absolutely agreed. Well, people, we'll be back tomorrow about this time tomorrow, too. I'll be back at this time tomorrow. And we'll hopefully be able to, bring a little joy and hopefully get ready for what is going to be a very, very, very difficult, emotional, I should say, weekend. As we end this Premier League season, finally, we have an answer to who's going to be the champions. We have answer to players that are going to be leaving, or some players that are going to be leaving. But hopefully we can get
a win for them.
We can get a win. We can get a win and let them go out the right way.
And the thing is, bro, the Brighton Leeds result and the City Bournemouth result made sure that the day would be sound. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's why for me is like I was watching that Leeds Brighton game. I could have watched any game that night. Chose that game. I just like, you know what? If Brighton win their 2 games and we end up losing to Brentford, Brighton have got Champions League football. So them losing, so I was like, I wanted Sunday to be special. I didn't want a day where we've got to worry about the result as much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be sort of chilled. Hopefully, like Salah should just do the right thing and pick Salah to start. Play him on the right, Rio on the left, and I'm not sure if Isaac's ready. That's another big question mark.
It is a big question mark, but I mean, yeah. I don't even know if you want to.
You know what I mean? We don't know where we're at with the players. Some of them, bro. It's like, yeah, man. But that's we could talk about it tomorrow, the days after. But bless up everyone in the chat. Nice one, man. Good to see you so many in. Yeah,
always good to see the OGs in. Always good to see newbies and new guests or even family. To the list, but we'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll leave you with this bit of moment of Red Sand here, and be out. Peace, people. Up the Reds.